Hey everybody, welcome to Rob's Not Playing here on twitch.tv/holidayrob. You can check Holiday Rob out on Patreon, TikTok, as well as the archive over at YouTube, Rob's Not Playing. Today we're going to talk about a movie. I'm doing a movie review. Saw it yesterday. Killers of the Flower Moon, 2023. Directed by Martin Scorsese, based on the David Grann book by the same name. Also written by Eric Roth, co-written by, and released by Apple TV, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone, as well as a whole host of other people. John Lithgow, Jesse Plemons, Brendan Fraser shows up for a minute. There's quite a few well-known names, as well as a lot of indigenous actors as well. Quite a few people that I recognize by face, because we're all as natives know each other, apparently. But that being said, it was a fantastic film. It does ring in at 3 hours and 20, almost 30 minutes, 24, 25 minutes or something like that. It's definitely a good bang for your buck. I wish they would bring back intermissions. But let's take a look at the story. So this film came about, I think, partially because Scorsese wanted to do a Western, and he had an idea to focus more on the FBI, looking into what was happening on the Osage Reservation. So if you're not familiar with the story, what happened was, during the 1920s, the Osage Reservation members were pushed onto this plot of land that nobody wanted. Everybody thought it was garbage, and then turns out, boom, it's full of oil, and boy, don't those industrialists love their oil. All of a sudden, roles are reversed. People have money of the Osage tribe. There was still this whole thing about them not letting them access their money without, having a white friend to help them do it. They had to have an overseer. And a lot of times these overseers would be people that they married, because they needed to be able to access their basically birthright funds. So the movie focuses on Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Ernest Burkhart, whose uncle is played by Robert De Niro, William Hale, who prefers that everybody calls him King. And he's there on Osage land, trying to run businesses, and considers himself a philanthropist. But really, the whole time, it seems like some shady dealings are happening behind the scenes. The movie is fantastic. The pacing, I think, is a little more thoughtful and slow than I would say of some of Scorsese's other films. This one follows certainly that tried and true formula of Casino and Goodfellas, where Scorsese builds up this kind of story of criminal enterprise mixed with human interest, and then eventually where law enforcement tend to collide with that, which is partially, I think, why he wanted to do this from the point of view of the FBI. Plus, it's not like it's not that he's a tribal member to any tribe. He's not an indigenous guy. And when telling stories, I think a lot of times people wonder why, stories are told from certain perspectives. Well, it's what people have to work with and what they know and what they're familiar with. So you have to kind of work on that level of storytelling and filmmaking. Now, I don't know what problems people would have with the film outside of the length. It is pretty upsetting, as a native person, to have to witness, people being killed, especially in this historical context where it actually did happen, where these were actual lives that were ended over money. Apparently the filmmakers worked closely with the Osage to represent this as best they could and show whatever truth they're able to show as accurately and fairly as possible. It has all the usual staples, amazing musical moments, incredible kind of like crime building, as well as, you could, if you've seen Goodfellas and you start watching the dominoes start to fall at a certain point, there's definitely that vibe in this. It would have been kind of exciting to have like a 90-minute film to go along with this of the kind of birth of the FBI. Like, far be it from me to be into law enforcement and federal police, but that doesn't mean I don't find it fascinating and interesting to some degree. The real standout in this is Lily Gladstone, which her performance is incredibly understated, I think, and I think that's kind of what's drawing a lot of people to it. There are quite a few instances of silence here where people communicate with each other through looks, and like, I have never been that big of a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio. I started to realize, well, okay, it's because I don't really like, his voice doesn't really do it for me. But his face is really good at expressing things, and the whole time it is really contorted in this like painful grimace the whole time. And so you kind of get a glimpse inside of him and his character as to like maybe how tormented of a person he might be. And certainly this situation of having to choose between different forces. Anyway, I won't spoil too much. It's worth seeing in the theater. I saw it in IMAX. I really wish they'd bring back the idea of an intermission for any film over 3 hours. I'm not sure why that isn't a thing yet. I would feel like Concession would be very happy to have like a chance to sell more. I mean, obviously, an intermission in a longer movie means fewer chances for it to get played on a screen, which we know they're really trying to shove as many screenings into a day as they can. I'm not going to move until I know. So anyway, I guess that's my thoughts on the film. Amazingly portrayed, incredibly shot, great soundtrack, great performances, excellent storytelling, a little bit slower and a little bit quieter than you'd expect from a Scorsese film, but I've found that to be quite appreciated, honestly, because in a world where you have like TikTok and Reels and all these tiny videos that are chipping away at your attention span, it's kind of nice to have something that takes its time. Gotcha. So yeah, would recommend 100%. Check it out. It's in theaters now. That's my short, non-spoiler movie review here on Rob's Not Playing. Finish out this round, and we will see you next time here. Thank you very much for listening. I also have a cold as well, so that's like pretty great. Man, who is shooting like crazy? Come on, Rob. Sheesh. Yeah, baby. Doing okay. 9th place. 5 kilios. That's the dealio. I don't even know what's over there. Guess we can go and see. No. Fudge. Holy shit, Rob. What the come on, for real? These are like ridiculous shots. I don't agree with that at all.